Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the employee training here at Blongo Spiritual 10 million thread count bed sheets incorporated. I first of all love to see all your faces, bright, beautiful faces here. Just wanted everyone to go ahead and open your employee handbooks up to page 8. Where you'll see our mission statement and our employee code of conduct rules there. And while you do that, I'd like to have everyone, just give a warm welcome to our CEO, Shiloh Basmati.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hey. Woo, 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 woo. Welcome to the Blongo 10 million thread count Spirit Arabian Cotton Bedsheet Corporate Retreat 2025. Here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Woo! Thank you all for joining this special retreat specifically for corporate branch heads, day-to-day product engineers, repairs people, very important with bed sheets. Thank you all for coming. This is going to be the retreat of a lifetime. Now, first off, the most important thing to remember is you can never say anything about what you see here over the course of the next 4 days, or we will have to take legal action. You've all signed NDAs. Now, I'm going to need you all to remove all of your clothing for the 2025 Blongo 10 million thread count Spirit Arabian Cotton Bed Sheet inaugural orgy, which is mandatory. All right, everybody, say it with me. Blongo, baby, Blongo. Blongo, baby, Blongo. Come on, clap. Blongo, baby, Blongo. Blongo, baby, Blongo. You cannot repeat this. Blongo, baby, Blongo. We will take legal action. Everybody get naked right now. It's time for the orgy. Blongo.
Woo! Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Delete Everything Podcast, our Fortune 500 company that's just stupidity profits are through the roof. We're in a bear market for ignorance.
Getting bullish on bullshit.
We're on a bull market, not a bear market. Bear market's bad, right?
Yeah.
We're keeping away the bear market of smartness. Because words, I do them.
All right, Patrick's having trouble. Let me do this.
No, I was going to start it over.
Hold on, I want to do it.
You're going to do this?
Hey, everybody, welcome to Delete Everything, our corporate tax shelter in the Balkans. I'm your CEO, Riley Bowen, and with me is my brainwashed corporate stooge,
Patrick Wall.
We're the fuck. I can't do the rest of it. That's the hard part.
It is, isn't it?
Anyway, we're the smart guys, and you're the dumb ones, and we're gonna teach you stuff. Listen, okay,
I let Riley have one.
This
and
is a special episode. Okay?
It is.
This is our 41st episode, and
that's not what makes it special.
No, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
God damn.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is our 41st episode. We just did 40 contiguous 40 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
Over the course of the past 7 months. Released them. Things are going well. We're getting good viewership.
Yeah, that's if you don't even count Patreon, because Patreon we got another 20.
We got the Patreon stuff up. We got the YouTube stuff up. We got our Instagram rolling. Producer Drew's had our quality through the roof. We're getting more reviews than we ever have. Daily, things are looking fucking great. But in general,
thanks to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you everyone for even the few moments that you've paid attention to us just now. If this is your first episode. If it is, that was a weird intro. Sorry. Go back one. But we're also fucking exhausted. So yes. Today, our topic is going to be our first topic ever. Something like a year and a half ago, Patrick, our friend Brian, and I all got together at Patrick's kitchen table
Mhm.
and recorded an episode around the existence of corporate cults.
Yes.
And it was fun, but the audio quality was bullshit.
Yes.
And Brian told a bunch of real bad jokes, so we
Yes.
can't repeat. And it was a great project, and we've tried several times to replicate that.
Well, so we've for those of you who have been listening for a long time, you'll Brian Velez, who was our guest host on episode I think 13, Children's Horror,
sadly passed away this week.
in our hearts and minds, he has. We have tried to reschedule this episode multiple times with Brian coming in as a guest. We thought we finally had him this time.
We were
had him on the hook.
close,
And
so
then,
close.
And then he figured out a way to bail.
He's an elusive beast. He's like he's like the Rougarou, you know? Like he could come out of nowhere and and just attack, or you just never see him.
Right. So I applied basically my rule for any other guest host, which is this is the day we're recording. This is the topic we're recording. We would love to have you on. If you can't make it, then that's fine. We're still going to do the episode.
We can't not do it. We got to go. We've been doing too many of these. We don't have time anymore. Producer Drew has a full-time job and a family. He's going to fucking commit seppuku.
We all do. We all have full-time jobs and families, but producer Drew has been kind of getting run through the paces more so than the rest of us lately. So we were originally supposed to record this 2 days ago, and then Brian couldn't make it,
which would have been our fourth recording of this episode.
That would have been our. So we did the original recording over a year ago. We tried to reschedule it, couldn't make it happen. So then I pushed it, and then we tried to schedule. Well, I had it on the schedule, and then I moved it.
Well, we got a second recording at least. I know that there was a time.
No.
Yeah. You, me, and Brian sat down at another juncture.
No way, Jose.
And repeated the exact same stuff. Again,
you're misremembering.
I am 100% accurate in this.
When? Where?
We did our first recording, and then we did another one. I believe it was still at your house.
That was the second episode, though. That wasn't Corporate Cults. That was when we did old game show hosts. Those are the only two times that the three. So the original concept for this podcast was not what it is currently. It was originally going to be myself, Riley, and Brian. Then we kind of retooled it, and then Brian was just not able to really commit to doing it weekly, which Riley and I really wanted to do, which we've been successful at for the last 7 months. And so here we are. But like I said, we've tried to reschedule several times. I've had to push the episode several times. Finally, we were going to do it 2 days ago. Brian was like, I can't make it. So I was going to be like, well, fuck it. We're recording it anyway. But then I texted the guys because I was like just done. I had gone a lot of hours with very little sleep. And we've been on this compact sort of schedule with trying to get things back on track. This is the end of that. Like basically this recording puts us back on track, and we're back to only having to be in the studio once a week, which is nice. Gives us a whole week to work out show notes and gives Drew a whole week to edit. And
Drew has saved a dozen lives, and I've driven 1,000 miles this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Patrick does. Fucking pouring drinks at a club or something.
Yeah, just
partying all the time.
Partying and hitting on bitches.
Hanging out with Fitty, right?
Yeah,
hanging out with 50
He did
Cent.
hang out with Fitty.
Well, I didn't really hang out with him. I just sort of was in his general vicinity.
Our original concept for this podcast was called Historical Handies, and it was the idea was somebody would try and tell. It's like drunk history, but somebody try and tell a story while somebody else was whacking them off.
Yeah. I wish. Jesus, why did we ever change that?
Because of Brian's giant gorilla hands.
And because he couldn't make it every week.
You can't even stay hard.
I can't get used to your giant calloused gorilla hands.
Brian might not be here,
but
but I can still do his fucking ridiculous voice.
So, long story short, we just said fuck it, because when we said, we're not going to do it 2 days ago because I needed sleep, and the guys were kind of needed it too. I don't know how much compared to me. I think we were all kind of burnt out, but I pretty much passed out for that entire day. So I told Brian, hey, we're doing it on this day instead. And he was like, oh, cool, I'm off. Now he bailed on that. So we're doing this fucking episode anyway. By the way, the day that this comes out is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Patrick.
It's coming out April 28th, baby. I'm 1 year older.
The April 28th, is it?
Mm-hmm.
What, that's going to be a Monday?
It is.
What are we doing the Sunday before that?
I don't know, but the Sunday before that, we're getting katanas.
Katanas, that's the one. All right, so that's your birthday celebration. Is us going out
This
to get
coming Sunday?
fucking katanas? Yeah.
A week early. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'll get katanas.
Drew, you have
a
to
week
work on
before
that Sunday, right?
I do, yeah.
Fucking bummer. We'll get you a katana though.
Tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yasuke has inspired us to all go get katanas.
We
We're
just started.
really lame 30-ish somethings.
Yeah, I mean, lame.
You guys are 30-ish something.
Katanas.
Old
You
asses.
think that's lame? I just joined a historical fencing club.
That's
Really? You've never mentioned it.
It's fucking sweet. I beat dudes up with fucking swords. And I'm good at it. It's crazy.
By never mention it, we mean
I
he's-
keep
it's
saying
all
it
he's fucking
again and
talked
again
about.
and
This is
again,
at least
again
the
and
third or
again.
fourth episode
Yeah,
that he's brought it
whatever.
up.
You got a problem? Take it to the mat, baby. You get your sword, I'll get my sword.
Take it up with my sword.
You got something to say it to the sword.
so
I say after one class.
again, this is basically us recreating our first podcast episode, which does fall into sort of the purview of what we do here, which is things that you might not have known about, or maybe you only partially knew about. And we're just going to kind of fill in the blanks a little bit. And yeah, it's going to be fun. And Brian won't be here, but we're going to still have fun with it. So sort of a large, and when we get to this point, I'll mention it. But a large portion of why we wanted to have him back on was because there is a mutual friend of ours who was part of one of these and really tried hard to get Brian in the mix as well. So well, we'll bring it up. I remember enough of the story that I can, between the two of us, we'll be able to disseminate it. But the first corporate company that
You
seems,
didn't do your plugs.
YouTube, Instagram.
we'll do it at the end. This is a weird episode.
We'll do it live. Yeah,
Okay.
Frank, honestly, guys, I mean, like, to be completely frank, we expected Brian to ramble over us for this entire fucking episode. So we have fewer notes prepared than we should.
This is going to be a very conversational episode.
Go back and listen to, I can't remember what number episode, but Kids Horror.
Yeah, Children's Horror, I think, was
Children's Horror-
13,
13.
if I remember right.
Just listen to that one because you'll see exactly what we're talking about. And we expected a lot of that.
He wasn't as bad as I anticipated he would be on that episode.
No, I expected that this time.
I did edit a lot of it out too. So the first corporate entity that seems a little weird and culty on our list today is Dr. Bronner's soap. Are you familiar with Dr. Bronner's soap?
Dr. Boner's soap?
Bronner. Dr. Bronner.
Bronner? Barely know her.
Dr. Boner's soap. Put it on your boner. It feels weird.
Bronner, your
Put
boner?
it in your butt.
Minty.
Wash your butt with Dr. Bronner's soap.
No, listen, I'm very familiar with Dr. Bronner's.
Yeah. Are you familiar, Drew?
Oh yeah,
The peppermint.
If you have ever had a bottle of that stuff, you've put it in your butt.
You put it in
Yeah.
your butt and you rub it all over your wiener.
As a nurse, how many bottles of Dr. Bronner's soap have you taken out of someone's butt?
I stopped fucking counting. I mean,
What are the little, like, you talk about the little the hotel room size? Or they got the full
No,
big
I'm talking about the
Magnum?
big
Full
boy.
bottles. People
Oh,
put
Magnums.
Magnums.
Magnum Dr. Bronner soaps. Slick with lavender scented goo.
Jesus Christ.
It's high quality soap. I could see it working real
it's
good.
actually phenomenal soap. I will say.
It's everyone's favorite
Really
soap.
nice soap.
But when I was a kid, we had a bottle of like the peppermint soap, but it was like the giant industrial grade and the original like label.
Yeah.
That shit must have lasted 2 years.
yeah.
Like it lasts forever.
Yeah,
That's
you
like
don't need a
grandma
lot.
had this soap for fucking
You don't
my
need a
childhood.
lot. Yeah, you do not need a lot of that. Like
Yeah,
a little,
especially the peppermint because your butt is gonna tingle.
Yep.
well, and like it.
You will
it's
never
like
feel cleaner,
It's a
though.
heavy lather. It's like a little nickel-sized portion.
Just to
Like,
dabble, do you?
will lather your whole body.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've ever taken the time while showering and just feeling the tingle on your butthole
To York it.
to don't York it with Dr. Bronner's soap.
You don't know.
And he gets in your pee hole, you are going to be
I mean, fucking living in a winter wonderland. It would be like Christmas.
eyes rolled to the whole back of your head, all the way around, just fucking 360 degrees. If you've ever read the bottle,
Christmas is coming early.
take it. It's weird. It's got some real weird shit on it.
It's like arcane runes, sigils.
No, you know what's on it. You've read it.
Yeah, I know. We've done this episode.
The all one God faith shit.
All one,
Yeah.
all one,
Yeah, there is the whole
all
part where it
one,
says all
all
one a bunch
one.
of times in all caps. All one, all one, all one. So if you read that shit, you're like, what the
If you got a list of what it
fuck?
says,
I have some things. I have a few things here. But first, Dr. Emmanuel Bronner, right? He was born in 1908, right? Originally, Hellbronner was his last name.
Hell.
Yeah. No, sorry, Heilbronner. Heil. I understand why you took that part out of your name.
Heilbronner.
Well, it's going to make even more sense whenever I tell you why he ended up in the United States, because he immigrated here in 1929 so he wouldn't be associated with the Nazis. He was born in Germany.
Classic.
Emanuel Heilbronner, right? He actually pleaded with his family to immigrate with him, and they decided to stay. He received at some point a postcard from his father that said, and I quote, "You were right." And he never saw his parents again. They were German Jewish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Just that, hey, I'm getting the fuck out of Germany. You guys should come.
guys
They're
should
like,
come.
yeah. And then
Well, it was 1929, so I mean, it was still like
an equivalent of like 2017 for us. Yeah.
right.
I'm just saying in relativistic years.
Okay.
I'm not making any broader political statements.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. So yeah. He tried to get them to immigrate with him to the U.S. and he was like, I don't want to be associated with this party. And then I'm not sure. I didn't. These notes are over a year old. I did not look and see when he got that postcard, but it was several years later. Once the Nazi Party was firmly in control of everything in Germany, and he just got a postcard that said, "You were right." Never saw his parents again.
God damn.
That's pretty fucking wild. So
what if his response is just like, "Ha, told you,
Fucking idiots.
fucking dumb."
So he started preaching this religious philosophy that he came up with called the all one God faith and the moral ABC, right? He was arrested actually at the University of Chicago in 1946 for speaking without a permit. Apparently he was invited by a student group to speak, but he, at whatever point he got like, hey, you can't be doing this. And then he would like, they all went to the dean's office and he like refused to leave the dean's office. And so the cops came and arrested him. They ended up placing him in the Elgin Mental Health Institute, and he was subject to shock treatment and then eventually escaped this fucking facility.
God damn.
So this guy's origin story is kind of fucking crazy.
That's pretty wild, yeah.
1946, a student group at University of Chicago goes, hey, come talk about your all God, one faith, moral ABC.
All one.
And
all one.
Yeah, and he's out there talking, and then like I guess the dean and security come over and they're like, you need to come with us. He goes over and is like, I don't know, in the dean's office. And
What are you trying to say to me, Drew?
I thought you were going to roll with Blanco, baby, Blanco.
Blanco, baby, Blanco. Blanco, baby. So it's all over that shit.
So yeah, whatever point he's in the dean's office, they're like, all right, you need to leave. You can't be talking out here. And he's like, fuck you, I'm not leaving. So the cops get called. He gets arrested and they're like, oh, you're going to Elgin fucking mental health facility. Damn. And then he's there for whatever amount of time getting shock treatments until he fucking escapes.
I mean, escape from a mental institution is good.
This dude kind of rules.
My little brother escaped from a mental institution one time.
Does he rule?
That's a true story. I mean, sure. he went back in at a certain point.
Does he have his own religious philosophy?
I would say so.
Probably.
Let's get off this topic.
So if you look at the bottles, first of all, goddamn liberal use of the exclamation point.
I noticed that.
Like you would not believe.
The punctuation is not great.
No. There is something to be said for the completely unhinged fucking stream of consciousness going on that label.
A lot of exclamation points, a lot of what are them shits? Dashes.
That's how I always know what it is in somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Can you see that on the X-ray?
Not on the X-ray, but usually a little bit
points?
still poking out.
Yeah,
and I see all the hyphens.
Like,
and
this grammar is
like,
insane. This has
Dr.
got to be
Boner
Dr.
again.
Boner.
I guess it depends on if they put it in cap first or bottom first.
I have here actually somebody
Do
transcribed.
they typically put them in cap first or bottom first?
Cap first.
Cap first, because the cap is that opens up the butt.
Well, but that makes it where you're never going to get that thing out.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the plan is after that.
If the sphincter closes around,
especially if it's soapy.
putting the scrub brush in the scrubby brush way. We talked
crazy.
about this
That's
before. I never
crazy.
understood it.
Well, at least you got the handle to pull it out by.
Yeah, but the handle is more, I would say ergonomically designed for buttholes.
It's gonna get real slippy with some lube too.
So I've got here
That's the thing.
the entire transcript of Dr. Bronner's soap label.
Oh God, here we go.
It was at this point that Riley recited the Dr. Bronner's label in its entirety. If you've never seen the soap bottle itself, I'd implore you to Google it, because this took Riley 15 minutes to recite, and he was speed reading. It was honestly pretty impressive. I think by the end, all three of us entered a sort of trance-like state, and we may have summoned the spirit of Emmanuel Bronner himself into my shed. All said and done, it had to come out of the episode. If you do want to hear the whole thing and possibly get possessed by Dr. Bronner himself, I'll put it up on the Patreon. Back to it.
Buy our soap, I guess.
32 fluid ounces.
I'm impressed, Riley.
I think that I need to go to Elgin Mental Health Facility.
Think of the same fucking thing. What the fuck?
It's craziness, right?
Ugh.
It is, like I said.
Did you enter like a weird fucking paranoid
I
state?
have not been here for a while.
That's what I'm saying. I know I was there too.
It is an unhinged
at the end, it's like
stream of
Panda, the fucking ground shakes.
That is why I put in my notes, unhinged stream of consciousness, because there's no other way to describe what that bottle is.
I mean, everybody's read like a little segment of it.
Ooh, not just a segment.
Well,
baby.
I mean, Riley's the only person on earth who's read the entire
I think
thing
Riley's
out
the
loud.
only person I know that has read the whole label now at this point.
I gained a deeper understanding of who I am as a man.
You know,
a man.
You exceptions? None.
None. All one. All one. All one. All one.
I learned that sharks only.
That is a shark.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part.
What, does sharks only teach their friends stuff? Is that what he says? They can't teach.
A shark can only love its friend. Lacking frontal lobes, it must avoid, fear, smear, hate, slander, dominate, dictate, distort, destroy anything it does not know, understand, or disagrees with. That's a shark.
That's a shark. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Delete Everything, we aim to teach you something new every week, and this week you found out exactly, by definition, what a shark is.
A shark is something that can only love its friend. It lacks frontal lobes.
I didn't think that. First of all, I don't think that's true. Secondly, I don't think that sharks love
anything.
Well, I know it must avoid, fear, smear, hate, slander, dominate, dictate, distort, destroy.
Well, yeah, I think they avoid that in general. So I will agree with that part.
Anyway, this has been Delete Everything.
Holy fuck!
I want to get a time on that. That had to be 10 minutes. It had to be 10 fucking minutes.
Go check it.
Hold on.
Okay, we're gonna
Pause.
check the time real quick, just because we can do this, because it's our podcast, not yours.
Yes, fucking eat my ass. It's just one solid continuous.
It's like 15 fucking minutes.
I entered a fugue state.
We all did.
I wrote the notes for next week's episode while you were doing that. It's in their entirety.
I believe it was about 15 minutes.
Tight.
I'm gonna compress all of that into maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that was a waste of fucking time, basically.
For you, I'm enlightened. I know what a shark is.
I heard everything you said.
I'm a man.
Man! So if you don't want to read the whole label, there is...
If you're filled with hate, fear, smear, sad, coward.
We'll put the whole thing on our Patreon, the whole read.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
You want to do that?
Yeah, if you're really dedicated and you want to York it to something, that's a good...
So this is from the 1950s portion of the historical timeline that used to be on the Dr. Bronner website. It's not there anymore, but this was on there before. For whatever reason, they took it off, right? Quote, he sees the need for the world to unite before it destroys itself. And
Sorry.
I didn't do that one single time while you went on a crazy fucking rant.
I'm sorry. It's in my head now. Unite the God
you know what?
love.
I'll point to you. I'll point to you when it's time to say all one.
None.
Because this can be interactive. I'm gonna
all one.
when you
All
see,
one.
Yeah, there you go.
All one.
All right, here we go. He sees the need for the world to unite before it destroys itself, and he exhorts all people to unite as one and to respect each other and the environment, and he encourages all religions to recognize their universal similarities inspired by the same divine source. Dr. Bronner sees planetariums as being the
All one.
temples of the future, where humanity can realize how vanishingly trivial their differences are on spaceship Earth within the celestial majesty of creation. On the side, he sells his peppermint soap. That's one sentence. On the side, he sells his peppermint soap. He soon realizes that many people are taking it and leaving without listening to him speak. In response, Dr. Bronner...
I wonder why.
Yeah. In response, Dr. Bronner begins to print his philosophy in dense, tiny script on the label of each soap bottle. That is the historical timeline. So basically what that is saying is that he was making his soap and selling it and preaching to people in the process of selling them soap. And they were like,
you're preaching
take my
crazy
fucking money.
shit about
Yeah.
sharks and stuff.
Spaceship Earth! Where is Spaceship Earth? All one. Who is man? I am man. Any exceptions? None.
A shark, no frontal lobes, exceptions none.
When you want a bird, it flies away. When you don't want the bird, there he is.
And they're like, this is the best soap.
Yeah, like, dude, I love your
You're
soap.
fucking insane.
Please
but
take
this
my
soap
money
is great.
and put it in the bag. Put the soap in the bag.
It's as though you found like a hermit that
Yeah.
like fucking has like a
Crazy
cool,
soap
has a
making
fucking
hermit.
a magical soap, and you have to listen to him rant for a while.
So there's also, I don't remember you saying this, but I kind of entered a fugue state as well when you were yelling everything. So
My
there's
throat
the numbered
hurts.
list. There's the numbered list on there. Did you go through the numbered list?
I just didn't say the numbers.
Oh, okay.
I just did the stream of consciousness because I felt like if I broke it up into the numbers, it would add an extra 11 minutes.
So these are some of the numbered because he's almost got like a commandment type.
They're
list
commandments. It's
on
a
there.
poem.
Yeah,
You know, like finding the meter of that poem is impossible.
absolutely. So,
Holy shit.
but
yeah.
so-
I fell into it like a fucking like the turn signal and the car in front of you and your windshield wiper syncing up for a quick second.
at one point, you were just sort of monotone with like this underlying sine wave where you were talking like this, and then you were talking, and then just on and 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 on.
It just kind of clicked in, but it's like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the same person that I was before you read that.
I think that's what Emmanuel Bronner wanted.
that's the whole point. Yeah.
Now put some peppermint soap in your asshole and be a really changed man. So I'm going to go down a couple of his commandments here on the bottle, right? For starters, the 12th one, God bless the persecuted. They alone are his chosen people. Those that did not suffer from persecution remained short-sighted. Small. Only those who united, worked hard, and survived Ice Age persecution evolved into human beings like Jesus, Mintz, Sills, Strauss, Stratz-Zamenhof, Brave, to help teach all, every slave, the moral ABC of the all one God faith. For we're all one, or none. Listen, children, eternal Father, eternally one, exceptions none. Which we did here. Now, once I started getting into it, I heard that. But your version's going to get compressed.
Oh, Father, eternally one, exceptions none. Do you know anybody else who can read that fast?
Like I said, it was impressive.
We are all one or none. And then
I used to do speed reading when I was a kid. I could read. I could literally. I could fucking recite a page that I had already read while I read another page.
Yeah, because a big part of the speed reading was you do the comprehension test afterward. I did a speed reading.
Yeah,
thing
I did
too.
that for a while. When I was like elementary school, I was really proud of myself for that.
Yeah,
I don't think
I was in middle school.
Probably do it with some more
Takes a little
training.
Practice, yeah.
But like, the shit was wild. I
yeah,
was able to do this thing. I'm really good with like the Memory Palace stuff. You know the Memory Palace? We probably talked about it.
The podcast?
No, the Memory Palace is like if you want to remember a list of items.
There's a podcast called The Memory Palace.
Oh, cool. It's a really popular concept to help you remember stuff. I used to do it when I was waiting tables. I'd use it a lot. Say I had like a table with 4 people. You know, when I went up to the table in my head, I'd picture my childhood home. And the person, like the first person orders, like, I want the lasagna with a side of green beans, something. And then I picture a plate of lasagna with green beans like at the front door.
Yeah.
And then I go into the house,
okay.
and on the couch to the left is, fried chicken with mashed potatoes when this lady orders. And then in the dining room, you've got, the steak medium rare with asparagus.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, it just the visual representation helps you, do all that.
Huh.
But
That's
I could.
What, Bandicoot Cumberbund does in the hit BBC show Sherlock.
Oh, yeah? He does the Memory Palace thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say,
Stupid.
it's stupid, fucking Sherlock bullshit. But I was gonna say that I could read a whole page at once by like taking like a mental snapshot of it and then moving on to the next thing, and I'd like read it in my head while I took the next mental snapshot. I could read like a whole fucking Goosebumps book in like 20 minutes.
My memory of doing this was that it was much finer print than a Goosebumps book, but I could do a whole page in like about 30 seconds, and then it would be like 5-page stories or so. So, you'd have the whole thing done in like 2 minutes.
Eat it.
And then you have to do a comprehension test where it would ask questions about what you just read. So you'd bang out 5 pages of like a novel, bang out 5 pages in like 2 minutes and then have to sit down and do this test. And like what your comprehension score ended up being was like.
My teachers would get so upset with me, so upset, because I'd be failing the class. Every class I ever took, I failed. Like, literally every class I ever took that would rank you from pass to fail, I fucking failed. They kept passing me because every time there were tests or like reading comprehension tests or essay tests or something, I'd be the first person up and I'd put the test down. It'd all be completely fucking A+, like across the board. And they'd be like, how the fuck are you not paying any attention, but you're getting like the highest standardized testing scores? And I'm like, you wrote all the answers in the blurb next to the question. What, am I supposed to be stupid? You want me to be dumb?
Yeah. I'm dumb when I say to be dumb, not when you say to be dumb.
I don't want to do the work, but I can read.
Okay, so here's 14th on Bronner's list of commandments.
Didn't I already cover that?
Yeah, we're not going to put that whole thing on this episode.
Yes, you are.
I mean, technically we are.
Technically we are. It's all going to be compact.
I have a headache now.
You should.
Fucking bet.
Your whole life has been altered. So 14th. Let him who is without fault throw the first stone, for only God is always perfect. So when our fellow man you measure, take him at his best. With that lever, lift him higher, overlook the rest. For we're all one or none. Remember, more good is caused by evil than by good. I never understood that one. More good is caused by evil than by good.
Yeah, sure.
So do what's right. Maximize the good, minimize the wrong. Then the kingdom of God's law inspires, evolves, unites, all one, all one, all one.
Oh, what? Oh, man.
More good is caused by evil than by good.
We should all get all one tattoos.
I think.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I think I know, because last time we did this, we were like, what the fuck is he talking about? More good is caused by evil than by good. I think I figured it out.
Right.
This guy escaped Nazi Germany, right?
Right.
The acts of this evil person, I don't like that term, but let's just say it for
evil.
I think it's stupid, but this one evil fella, Adolf, caused so many people to come together and do good, which I guess is bombing Germany to shit.
Maybe it's just like, I came here and made this awesome soap to save you.
I think what he's trying to say is that when someone evil sort of starts doing evil things, more people come out of the woodwork to do good.
Like step up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's a weird way of wording it.
It's everything he said is wrong and there's no God. Also, sharks have brains.
They have frontal lobes.
Yeah.
Sharks don't have friends either.
But then who do they love?
They
don't fucking love.
They eat.
They love their friends. I don't know. I like the idea of sharks hugging their friends.
Love is an arbitrary concept. I don't love you. It's fine.
So
on an intellectual level, there's no such thing, and time doesn't exist. So what are we even doing?
fuck if I know.
It's all just hobbies. Is that Randy Newman? Oh, it's Bill Gates. Looks like Randy Newman.
My head is not in a good place.
I make it
after
computers.
reading that.
I make it computers for the world.
Is that your Bill
Does
Gates, Randy
anybody
Newman?
want?
You're Bill Newman.
Bill Gooman.
So Bronner didn't really start a cult. I wouldn't call it a cult. I would call it a wacky old dude.
Mr. Wacky Guy, Soap Man.
I think he had a very unique religious philosophy, and he put it on his soap, and he screamed it at people buying his soap at some point.
That's a shark, baby.
He he died in 1997 at the age of 89 years old, and yeah, like I said, I wouldn't call this a cult. I would just call it
A man who literally escaped a mental institution.
yeah, that
And wrote a bunch
Nazis
of weird shit.
and Nazis. I mean, let's give credit where credit's
I mean,
due.
what are we going to say? He's wrong?
I don't.
It's
Are
wrong
we
about
not
the
all
sharks.
one?
I don't know. He's wrong about the sharks.
What about the apes?
Oh yeah,
He's talked about
there was
apes
a
a
whole
lot.
section about having
Oh,
sex too.
Yeah. Oh, it got real sensual there. It got horny. Did you
Yeah,
catch
there
it?
was a whole horny bit. I don't want that on my soap, or maybe I do, depending
you
on the
do.
night.
We're wondering why people shove this in their ass.
And you york it with the peppermint soap,
Oh.
and it makes your cock and balls tingly.
It does.
Right?
Don't get any in
and
your
then,
pee hole.
And then you know what happens? Oh, come! Oh, come!
New T-shirt idea because Patrick, especially because Patrick hates words on his shirts.
Blanco.
We do a whole Bronner's thing
Blanco,
for
baby.
Blanco.
Joe, I could fucking write a million words
it.
of insane Blanco shit. That's a good shirt.
is a good
Inexpensive
shirt.
shirt, but that's a good shirt.
Blanco, baby.
Blanco, baby, Blanco. Blanco, baby, Blanco. Everybody shut up. Blanco, baby, Blanco. Naked.
It's time for the orgy.
It's time for the orgy.
Oh my god.
You sign an NDA. Blanco, baby, Blanco.
So part 2 of our second thing here. That's the end.
Blanco's-
That's the end of Dr. Brown.
Blanco's 10 million thread count spirit Arabian cotton bed sheets.
Yes. 10,000.
You said
No,
10
10
million.
million
Yeah, I said
count.
10 million.
10 million thread count.
I said 10 million.
Yeah, no, you did.
1,000 million.
10,000 million thread count. So the second company here, this all started from a story about a mutual friend. So this is the part where it's fun to have Brian around because he was actually present for this whole thing. But the second company we're going to do is hopefully not your favorite Chinese restaurant, Panda Express. I frankly think the food is fucking trash.
I'm not sure it's a restaurant or Chinese.
It's well, you take everything that's sort of like questionable about eating at like a local Chinese place. You know, the Chinese place you can walk into any city, anywhere in America, and they've got the same fucking menu.
Yeah.
They've got the same decor.
Actually, those places,
They've got the
I've
same-
never found the food in any of those places to be even remotely questionable. I always feel like the food at those restaurants is fucking immaculate, but the lady behind the counter's got a black eye and you're pretty sure that it's her husband, the cook, like shit like that.
The kids are doing their homework in the
Yeah.
lobby.
Somebody came in and got a nondescript package, just walked out.
Is there like a fucking warehouse in Brooklyn somewhere that's just got the Chinese restaurant starter pack?
Oh, you know what? I know what it is.
And you just get all the wall art and you get the menu that goes up that hangs up above the order counter and you get the paper menus and they're all the fucking same.
There's guaranteed to be like a place that makes those specifically. I think that a lot of
They're in China and so those people have the fucking fast track to get
right.
them.
Well, I think a lot of those restaurants come as like migrant packages. Like just like when we were talking about Western expansion, right?
Uh-huh.
You pay a certain amount to come over, and you can be set up with a job, and you could be, you know, like if you're a textile person, you'd be working in like a textile mill,
Right.
or you know.
So there's some CEO in Guangdong, China that's just like got it's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, like he'll take your
He's got,
investment.
like 500
and
Chinese
he'll
families.
still like own the restaurant in like a shell way and make dividends off of it, but he'll set you up there to be able to work it.
Do we need to go meet like a Chinese family that runs a Chinese place and
I
find
mean, wouldn't
out?
be that hard. We could just go talk to anyone who works at a fucking Chinese restaurant.
It's already hard enough to order from them, from the Chinese restaurant,
Why?
Why is it hard, Patrick?
because they don't speak English very well.
Suspect.
You're going to say it?
What do you want me to say? I'll say it. Just tell me what you want me to say, Drew.
Okay, I'll say we go to those restaurants. Most of the time, it's either a very sweet, petite Chinese lady
Who doesn't
has
speak-
has
who
a
speaks
very,
very
very
broken
thick accent,
English
Or-
or one of the kids.
or like a tall
That speaks perfect
like
English.
like a tall, like American Chinese kid who's like, "Hey, what can I get for you?"
Yeah. That is true. So, like the place that's around the corner from our house, which we don't frequent, but like once every 2 months or so, we'll order from. There's like the mom and dad, and I think there's another guy that's like same age. I don't know if he's like part of the
And you got,
family
like,
or just a
school
friend or
kid
whatever.
who's coloring in the
Yeah,
corner.
they all.
That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
at the right place if there's like a kid who's like,
Doing
I
his
fucking
homework.
live at this fucking restaurant
doing the homework in the corner
Yeah.
booth. Yeah, all the time. So if any of them pick up the phone.
Dude, there is a fucking, you get like a little golden treat every now and then if you go to enough Chinese restaurants, because eventually you'll see one of those kids get hit by their mom. and I've seen it twice in my life.
I thought you were going to say like free rangoon.
No.
Something.
Like,
an extra egg roll or something.
There's just this.
Like that happens all the time.
Because I lived in New York, right? I would go to Chinatown and shit. And fucking, I walked into a Chinese place in Chinatown one time, and there was a little kid like playing with fucking, I think it was like Yu-Gi-Oh shit or something at some point. And as I'm trying to order, the mom yells at him past me, walks around, smacks him in the head, and yells at him some more. Comes back and goes, "I'm sorry. What can I get you?" And I was like,
my favorite.
This is gonna be the best food I ever fucking had.
My favorite. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever gotten in there to either order or pick up your food when the family's sitting down to eat their food?
Like they look at you like you're a fucking piece of shit.
And nothing on their table is anything on the menu. It's all completely, and that's when I'm like, oh, they make this food garbage for American people. This is not what Chinese people, I'm not eating real Chinese food. But what I was going to say, yeah, if I order during the time when any of the adults are there and they pick up the phone, I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to get the order that I put in. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Whatever. It's probably going to be delicious either way. But like when one of the kids picks up the phone, I'm like, oh, okay, now this is going to be quick.
What's your Chinese order, guys?
I'm not like a regular order kind of guy. I always switch it up.
I switch it up between sesame chicken, orange chicken.
I like a sesame chicken.
Beef and broccoli is nice.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah.
I like both the chickens.
And every once in a while I'll get a sweet and sour pork or chicken. But I like the sauce on the side because I like to dip it.
Right.
I have been disappointed. I've been let down a few times by beef and broccoli, so I don't tend to get that anymore.
Yeah, I usually don't care for the sauce much, but I will get the sweet and sour chicken fried rice, my oldest standby fucking poor food, because you can buy a thing of chicken fried rice for like $4 that'll last you like 2 days.
Right.
That has saved my life. And egg drop soup. Always. That's good shit.
You know what I really like? Is what is it, like the Happy Family lo mein? That's all the pork, chicken, beef, and shrimp. Pork, chicken, beef, shrimp,
the least kosher thing you could ever eat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Put them all together. Put all the animals together in a large one. And that fucking thing will last for 2-3 days.
Yeah, easily. You know what? You know where serves none of this? Panda Express.
Yeah. So, like I said, this all started from
udon noodles boiled in piss.
A story about a mutual friend, and it turned into this rabbit hole that kind of inspired this whole episode, right? And possible others in the future, I'm not sure. But so Brian, who's not here, told me this story, which we'll get into once I tee everything up here. And it went from being like a hilarious story about a buddy acting weird to like an internet dive that actually turned up some kind of strange stuff. So the story goes, right? We have a friend named Kevin who we've known since like middle school. I think Brian might even know him from like back in elementary school because I was in like the end of middle school when I moved here. Brian's been here since he was like 5. So I think they went to like middle school together. But Kevin, after graduating from high school, went to the military and was gone for a while. And he ended up back in St. Augustine. He would like float in and out of certain like restaurant jobs and stuff. I think he and I actually worked in a restaurant for a while. But anyway, at some point he resurfaces as the general manager of the local Panda Express.
That's the one over by the Barnes & Noble?
Yes. There's only one in town that I know of.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's trash.
It's the worst fast food. Literally, about a week ago, my wife brought some fucking Panda Express home, and I was like, this is gross. Why did you get that? And she's like, I can't eat it. You eat it. So I ate it, and I felt like shit.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because I eat garbage. I eat gas station hot dogs, like, regularly.
Gross. That's
why I'm fat.
I don't know that it's worse. I think it's about the same.
I think the fucking Panda Express was worse because I felt worse. I felt worse after eating half an order of whatever their piss noodles are than I did after eating my standard extra large Coke and 2 all beef Kangaroo Express hot dogs with coleslaw.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a big roller grill item guy.
When I was on the ambulance, I wouldn't eat Panda, but I'd eat roller grill.
RGIs. Yep. RGIs are the best.
Yep.
I won't eat either of those things.
Yeah, well, you're a hating ass bitch. Everyone knows it.
Stuck up bitch, I guess.
Fucking elitist.
You know what I will eat?
An ass.
Also, yes. I will eat 7-Eleven pizza.
Oh, yeah. 7-Eleven actually has pretty good food.
7-Eleven fucking pizza fresh.
Not bad.
I
Fire
try
as
that.
fuck.
7-Eleven, actually, what I get from 7-Eleven is the chicken wings. Because they have like plain
7-Eleven pizza
plain chicken
has
wings.
the fucking Goof Troop pizza fucking pull.
Oh,
the cheese
fuck.
pull.
I've been looking for that for 30
when
something
that
years.
shit is, yeah. When
the extra stretch.
Yeah.
the-
For me,
the
it's
cheese pull.
the Ninja Turtles though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
way
same
they have
thing.
it,
Same
yeah.
thing.
You remember in the first Ninja Turtles where the guy went to deliver a pizza at the address that they had given him, and they waited under the sewer until it was 31 minutes, and they poked their head up and they're like, after 30 minutes is free, fucking piece of shit, and
Yeah.
then stole the pizza.
Fucking thieves.
You just slide it in sideways too.
And he's like, I gotta pay for that. And they're like, yeah, fucking suck our turtle dicks.
So anyway, Kevin ended up being
Pizza's here.
suck our turtle dicks. Fucking jabroni. So
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles took place in Boston.
or just fucking New
Everything
York.
is
It's still
fucking-
New York, I
Or
guess.
just New York. So Kevin ends up resurfacing as the GM of the local Panda Express. Somehow, at some point, Brian, down on his luck for whatever reason, ends up going in there. I think on Kevin's request. He was like, "Yeah, come,
he told me to
yeah,
come in.
come and meet me, right?" And
You know, you're blessed that I just blew my fucking voice out doing Dr. Bronner, or else I'd be doing this whole story as Brian. The mist of times.
Yes, I was a little down on my luck.
So this is a third
Can't do it.
this is you're hearing this from a third party instead of Brian, but Kevin starts to talk about the opportunity for Brian to get into management at Panda Express, and he's talking about how much money he makes and this and that, and it was like decent money, but I mean it was also like 80 fucking hours a week, so it was like I don't know, it's like, oh, I'll make $80,000 a year, but it's like I live and die and breathe in this fucking place. So long story short, he's like starts telling Brian about how if you get accepted to come in as an assistant manager, then you can put your name into a pot to be a GM, and then once they whittle down all the GMs, then you go to fucking somewhere for like a retreat and you meet the owner of the company.
That's where you get the arcane knowledge.
You meet-
Once you break through the first barrier, then they can tell you the mysteries of the ancients.
This is not Scientology.
It's not far from it.
Well, they all have a sort of, the
Hermetic
archetype.
Order
Yeah.
of the Golden
Yeah.
Panda.
They all follow the same archetype. And he's talking about how you go and you meet the CEO, and Brian,
It's a big slime monster that they
Yeah.
keep in a tub.
and Brian's like telling me about this shit, and he's like, and I see his fucking eyes, and I was like, yeah, well, Kevin's always had these big, vividly blue eyes, right? Even now, he looks like he probably lives under a bridge. He doesn't. He has a wife who makes a lot of money. I don't even fucking know what he does now, but every time I see him, he's got a big old fucking beard and long scraggly hair and old shitty looking tattoos, and I'm like, Jesus, but he's still got these bright ass blue eyes that are just blink blink from beneath all the hair. So Brian's like, yeah, his fucking eyes got crazy, and I was like, well, he got crazy eyes. He's always had those big crazy fucking blue eyes. And he's like, no, the way someone's eyes get crazy when you're talking about the divine leader.
Ooh.
And he's telling me this story about how he when he's in the room, you feel his presence, he's just got this authority and this and that, and if he meets you one time, he never forgets your name. He'll see you years down the road in a completely different city in a completely different setting and be like, oh, hey, Kevin or Brian or whatever. And Brian said he left there and he was just like, is Kevin part of a fast food cult? So this was the whole thing, was we were talking about that happening and that story, even years after it happened, Brian and I were talking about it, and I was like, I wonder if there's anything to it. So then I started diving into this fucking Panda Express shit. And like I said, that's kind of what inspired this whole episode. So I looked up what Panda Express culture was, by the way. I looked up sort of I'm looking at the Panda Express stuff, and there was a thing that was our culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's listing a bulleted list of the things that are important to their culture. And one of their company values was respect/win-win. And I read that as respect win-win, like somebody in the company's name is like win-win.
It's very important.
Oh.
Very important that you show
Respect win-win.
You show win-win respect.
Never
She will
disrespect
not
win-win.
tolerate that shit. That's a core tenet.
You show win-win of respect.
I think that was somewhere on Bronner's bottle too.
Win-win! Win-win! Win-win!
Oh, what?
Oh, win-win!
Exceptions done. Yeah, so it was respect/win-win. Like if you respect, then everybody wins. But I read like a
Respect
fucking
win-win.
dope.
It's the name of the panda.
respect
The name
win-win.
that's the name of the panda on the fucking logo. Win-win.
Bro, I just started dying once I realized
Must
what I did. I was like,
respect
respect win-win was what I was such a fucking idiot.
It's another fucking T-shirt.
That's a good one. Respect
Firing
win-win.
them off
Respect
today.
win-win. Yeah. We gotta
Respect
put,
win-win. And then
Panda.
you have to
But then
remember to put these on the list when you're doing the.
Look at-
You have the
but then respect
The save
win-win. We
chat
have
now.
to find a picture of a random Chinese lady. That's
wearing a Panda Express shirt.
just respect win-win. This is win-win.
You fucking respect
Do
her.
not fuck around.
So the owners of Panda Express are Penny and Andrew Chering.
Spell that.
Chering. Cherng.
Cheng.
Chering.
Cheng.
I'm sure there's a Chinese way to pronounce
I
it that
think
we
that's
aren't doing
it,
correctly.
actually, because the back of
It's
the
got
nose
that
R.
weird.
Cheng.
It's got that weird Mandarin hard R.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cheng.
they've got the hard R.
Nope.
Mandarin has like
It
a
is hard
R.
to
Yeah.
pronounce, but you can't say hard R like that.
I certainly can. It's what it's called. Just because it's affiliated with another word, it's
not.
not my fault.
It's not. The Chinese
Watch-
got that hard R.
Go watch fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and listen to it. It's a very pronounced
Sure.
R's
Cheng.
because there aren't a lot of languages that have hard R's. You sound weird.
You sound weird.
So Andrew Churng opened the Panda Inn restaurant with his father in Pasadena, California in 1937, right?
The pandan.
How do you spell
Panda Inn.
Blongo?
Blongo is Blongo.
Yeah, obviously.
Blongo. 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 And Blongo's
got
where
the
you
bed
go.
sheets. Oh, what did you say?
I said Blongo's where you go. Oh,
Oh, I said Blanco's got the bed sheets.
hold on.
And Blongo, baby, Blongo. Come on.
Blongo's never Brongo.
Oh, dumb. So in the early 80s,
Blongo's got you, Chongo.
so Andrew and his father opened the Panda Inn restaurant in Pasadena, 73, right? In the early 80s, he becomes friends with Terry Donahue, who at the time was the head coach of the UCLA football team. So Terry and his brother Dan own a real estate business, and through their connection with the Churns, they get an offer in 1883.
1883.
I'm sorry, 1983.
They're the offer that
I
they
don't
got.
usually
the
start these
offer
with
that they got
19s.
was for eternal life. Signed here with the Chungs.
And I don't often start these years with 19. This is kind of strange. So in 1983, they get this offer to open a fast food version of the Panda Inn for the Glendale Galleria Food Court, which is a mall.
Glendale
in Glendale.
Galleria, a place for friends.
Oh, I thought you were going to say food. From the early 80s to the late 90s, right? So the early 83 was the first sort of franchise, right? This football coach opens the first one. So from the early 80s to the late 90s, they expanded quickly and were exclusively in mall food courts, kind of like how Chick-fil-A started.
Right, or Sparrow. Yeah.
Does Sbarro have like other locations now?
I think it's just China.
I think it's just malls pretty much,
I mean,
right?
it's malls, and then like New York's got like some corner stores and stuff. Like
Yeah.
Is Sbarro still a thing? I haven't seen a Sbarro in like 15
still
years.
around. Yeah, you got to find one at a gas station in South Carolina.
There was one on my college campus.
Yeah.
Speaking of shitty food.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they do have them from time to time in like college, like what do they call
like
those?
Chick-fil-A's. Yeah,
Yeah. What do they call those? Which are effectively just mall food courts.
Quad.
it's food court.
The quad.
A cafeteria. The cafeteria.
Like some colleges have they have food courts with like Starbucks and Chick-fil-A and
The
Sbarro, apparently.
Cafeteria.
Cafeteria.
I forget what else was up there. This was UNF way back in the day.
You went to UNF?
I did.
I went to UNF.
When were you there?
Early 2000s.
Oh, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I went to the University of Michigan.
I did not finish, hence the name You Never Finish.
Oh.
I went to the University of Michigan a couple of times and then didn't go to college.
Yeah, see, I went to technical
Went to
school and got my paramedic
tour.
license because I'm a fucking idiot.
That's where I did the first sword fighting group that I was a part of was at University of Michigan. I was technically a student at University of Michigan because I was working in an elective there, but I didn't take any actual college courses. I just went there for fucking stage combat.
Oh.
Yeah.
U of M. Go fighting mittens.
Wolverines.
Okay.
What was UNF? Like the Falcons or something?
Ospreys.
Oh, yeah. This was like half my life ago. I'm sorry.
Ospreys?
It's longer for me, dude. I finished college in 2003.
I didn't finish college, okay?
Well, I'm sorry.
Hence why I'm stupid and can't remember
You don't have a
anything.
college
Go on.
degree?
No, I have several. I didn't finish there, though.
I was going to say, how are you a nurse?
I just like the way you said this. I have several.
I do. I have a stupid amount of associate's degrees and no bachelor's.
Hell yeah.
Oh. So as of 2017, Panda Express has over 2,000 locations, earning over $3 billion in annual profits and employing around 39,000 people, right?
That's a lot of people.
They've also had some notable lawsuits. As, listen, that's not necessarily as big companies frequently do, Some of them legit, some of them not. But we're going to sort of get into a few of these guys here. So in 2011, a suit was filed by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission against Panda Express because it was reportedly training its Hispanic employees differently than Asian employees. So apparently what was going on was that they were allegedly, they ended up settling. So
Allegedly.
I don't know. Settling, people, depends on how you feel about it. I think pretty much anytime you settle anything in court, it's kind of an admission of guilt.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. I think that when you settle something in court, it's an admission that you would
I have
accept
more money.
that much money to be thought of as guilty.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is something. Like, if I said that I had slipped and fallen at a McDonald's, right, and I had, and hurt myself, and I was suing them, and they were like, fuck no, fuck you, but we will give you $1 million to shut the fuck up, I'd be like, I
Right.
didn't do it.
Right.
Give me the $1 million.
But it's also McDonald's saying, yeah, he fell, but we're not going to.
Exactly.
We'll just give him some shut up money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Which is fine. There's no disgrace in that.
the alleged claims were that
Giant corporation. Fuck them.
Yeah, if there is disgrace in that, I can be disgraced for that money.
Me too.
I'd rather take them all the way.
Disgrace me hard. Disgrace me in the butt.
Actually, I probably wouldn't take it all the way.
No, I would accept that $1
Take the
million
money out.
and away I go.
Because they can hold you up in litigation for way longer than you have money to keep.
I am
lawyers
off
going.
to buy a modest home in Minnesota.
So the allegation here was that they were treating the Hispanic workers differently than the Asian workers, insofar as like they would, if they needed to cut hours, they'd always cut the Hispanic workers first. If they needed to like send somebody home, it was always one of the Hispanic workers. If basically shit like that. And then also there was this allegation that the Hispanic workers had side work that included things like cleaning the bathrooms and shit like that, while the Asian workers just got to stand around and watch. So that was again, there's nothing terrible about that, but like I said, we're just establishing a pattern here.
Yeah, it's not great either.
It's not. So a couple years later, in June of 2013, it was announced that the restaurant would pay $150,000 to settle another Equal Employment Opportunity Commission lawsuit
EEOC.
on behalf of, the EEOC. Yuck.
Eoc.
On behalf of at least 3 female teenagers who were allegedly sexually harassed between 2007 and 2009 by one male kitchen supervisor in Kauai, Hawaii. So apparently these 3 teenage girls were working at a Panda Express in Hawaii, which, wow, what a way to put a damper on living in paradise.
Well, I mean, if they're
I've got to go to my job at Panda Express.
There's a couple ways to look at it. If they're native Hawaiian, it's probably just fucking rough times anyway because natives are treated like shit in Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, they had a kitchen supervisor who was sexually harassing the teenage girls, and I guess they said, "Okay, we'll just pay $150K to shut up, girls."
Yeah, well, so like, yeah, $150K for 3. How bad was the sexual harassment? Because I mean, like, I'm very much like maybe they should have just stabbed this guy, sure, like, but at the same time, $50,000 for how much humiliation? Like,
Oh no, I'm not going to revert back to my my New Jersey Guido guy.
no, I mean, I think it sucks that these are the choices that the young ladies have to make in general. But I'm just in my shoes. I mean,
But again,
if I got Brendan Fraser, I might take $50,000.
I can't say, boo fucking Panda Express for this specifically, because if you've got, how many locations did we say? Fucking like 3,000 locations. You can't micromanage.
You can't afford to lose such a valuable manager. You're going to have to transfer him.
You don't, I mean.
Someplace where the teenagers don't dress so provocatively.
They're not the Catholic Church. Come on. You don't know. I mean, was there a complaint before it became a lawsuit? What did they try? There's a lot where it's like, how much do you know? How much of that is accurate information? How much did you do or not do before it became a lawsuit? So it's kind of a hard one to go, okay, boo, Andrew and Penny Chung. You're the worst. However, we're going to get very shortly into the boo stuff. So on ABC News Nightline, in April of 2011, right, there was a feature segment on Panda Express and all of its vast success. And the segment described how Andrew Chung encourages his workers and management to go through self-help programs, emphasizing landmark education.
Like knowing what landmarks there are?
No, landmark education is part of a company called Landmark Worldwide.
It's an entertainment company featuring Will Ferrell and and fucking goddamn it.
They
John C.
are
Reilly.
they are an employee-owned
Worldwide.
they're an employee-owned for-profit company that offers personal development programs, with their most known program being the Landmark Forum.
The Landmark Forum?
The Landmark Forum.
Sounds like a place where you get booed off the stage for telling bad jokes.
We're going to go into some stuff where I wish somebody had booed some people off the stage.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Landmark, right? This is a company started in 1985 by another Werner. We've had a lot of Wilhelms. We've had a lot of Werners.
Uh-huh.
We've had
I've had a
Werner
Werner.
Herzog.
Yeah,
Werner Erhard, right?
Erhard.
So in 1985, Werner Erhard created the Landmark Forum. He had originally started EST, which is Erhard Seminar Training, right? In like 84, he started that in like 1971. In 84, he renamed it to Landmark Forum, and he changed the content to be gentler and a little more business oriented, right? He promoted the idea that all events, good and bad, in an individual's life were their own making.
Yeah. Heard this one.
And that individuals would be empowered when they take personal responsibility for all the events in their life. An idea based in the human potential movement.
I hate that shit. I believe in personal responsibility for things that you did intentionally.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But like the idea that bad things only happen to people that invite bad things in their lives. Like, go fuck yourself.
Right. Everything that happens, whether it's good or bad, is your own fault.
Yeah, I got fucking
Are
stabbed.
you going to tell that to the 3 girls that got sexually harassed by the fucking kitchen manager? We're not going to fire that guy. It's your own fault.
I got stabbed in the eyeball with a stick when I was like 7 years old. I still have a perforated cornea. Is that my fault? That was 7. I fucking got hit in the face with a stick.
I don't know. What did you say? How were you dressed? Were you dressed provocatively?
I was
it?
I was dressed up in my construction garb, and I wolf whistled at a pretty broad that walked by. I said, "Hey baby, you got some fries with that shake?" And she turned around, she threw a stick at me, hit me right in my eyeball.
Wait, whoa, hey, where you going?
Hey mamacita.
Nice fucking cans.
Nice pooper.
Poopa. Ew, gross. That's too vulgar, Drew.
Every time you do that, you turn my
I'm
computer
sorry.
off.
That's a Verino.
Was that a Verino Ruggiero?
Yes.
Future guest friend of the podcast?
But the interesting part is he was about 10 when he said that.
Hey, nice poopa.
We were rolling up the beach in my stepdad's van, and we had the van door open. I think we put him up to it because we would have been like 14 or so. And he doesn't now, but he had a real gravelly voice when he was a kid, like this.
Sounds like a Ruggiero.
So he yells at the van. He's like, "Nice poopa!"
That's good. Mutual friend of the podcast, future guest.
He'll be on.
Verino Ruggiero, everyone.
Never met it.
Oh, you'll see it. V, if you're
Never
listening
met
to
him.
this, hi.
Sorry, I called you out for being sexist when you were like 10.
So obviously this
Not
landmark,
sexist, misogynistic when you were like 10.
obviously this landmark forum business is, gauged towards self-improvement for people with, non-medical psychological issues. And he sort of tried to concentrate it into the business world.
I think Patrick's fried.
This is going to be a bitch to edit. And I did half of it to myself.
Yeah.
In 2019, so we're sort of more contemporary, the company reported that more than 2.4 million people had participated in its program since 1991, right? They have seminars in like 125 locations in more than 21 different countries. Their revenue is in 2018 was just over $100 million with profits of about $5 million. Remember, like I said, it's a employee owned for profit, right? So yeah, they had profits of about $5 million. They have 500 employees and about 700. This is the funny part. 7,500 volunteers.
What? Volunteers?
Yeah, isn't that an unusually large number of volunteers for a for-profit company?
Yeah, that's not true.
The number of volunteers, like their use of volunteers, has prompted 3 separate investigations by the U.S. Department of Labor, which concluded without Landmark having to make any changes to their practices, in part because Landmark does not use advertising to reach potential clients, but rather pressures participants that are already using their courses to recruit relatives, friends, and acquaintances as new clients.
Wow.
So just to sort of get a gauge on this company, right? They have this philosophy of personal responsibility regardless of anything. So like if you get T-boned at an intersection, it's probably your own fault, right? Don't stop blaming people for your problems. They make $5 million in profit a year.
And they have slaves?
That
Is that what I'm...
that goes to 500 people. And then the other 7,000.
That's like $1 million a person.
It's definitely not, but and then the other 7,500 people that work for the company are on a volunteer basis, which the company leverages the people that come in for the program to like get their fucking friends and family involved.
What the fuck?
Yeah. A little crazy.
Pyramid scheme stuff?
I guess.
Is that a Ponzi?
It's almost like a cult.
Well, funny you should mention that. They have threatened and pursued lawsuits against people who have called it or labeled it a cult.
As they do, because it's fair game.
Well, you don't know my last name, bitches, so fuck you.
Berkowitz.
Including, there was a...
I think I accidentally gave you the last name of serial killer David Berkowitz, the son of Sam.
Go get him, guys. Go get him.
Accidentally. So, including a clinical psychologist, Professor Margaret Singer, who wrote some magazine articles about him, and also the Cult Awareness Network, which is an organization that I guess called out this Landmark company.
The can?
The can. They were on the can.
The can's after him. Do.
So, because they kind of have this weird fucking way of operating, and I'm immediately like sort of one eyebrow raised on this shit, just knowing this little bit that I know. So this all brings us back to Panda Express, where, like I said, Brian and I had this friend who had this interesting story, but whatever.
Fuck it.
Thank you for tuning in. Delete everything.
Whatever to that part of the story. We've already hashed it out. But this is sort of, so there's this young lady, Jennifer Spartagifiore.
I'm Spartacus.
Jennifer Spargifiore, who worked for the company, was, if you believe her story, pressured to attend one of these seminars. Now, it seems like the thing that Kevin was telling Brian about was one of these seminars too.
Right.
But so she was pressured to attend one of these seminars. She paid out of pocket. I couldn't find the amount that she paid to attend this seminar. And so she shows up on like a weekend where she has taken time off of work.
This is paying to attend a work seminar put on by the Panda Express.
Right. Because basically, as we get through this, they didn't expressly say that you had to attend these seminars to get into management, but they really strongly insinuated, right?
Right.
That it was mandatory to get into management to attend these seminars, right?
Yeah.
So she paid out of pocket. She shows up. There's 20 to 50 people there. And this is sort of I believe, again, don't quote me because this came from notes from a year ago. I believe this is part of the court documents here, right? So from the beginning, the Panda sponsored a live seminar attended by JS.
The
Jennifer.
Pandas?
The Panda sponsored a live seminar. So the live seminar was put on by Landmark Forum, right?
Sponsored by pandas, Chinese pandas.
Sponsored by pandas.
the cheerings, turns out, are actually
They're
pandas.
actually pandas.
Yeah.
But they don't have any children.
Like
They
the
just-
end of a Goosebumps. Like
Uh,
I believe it was fucking, was that, do you remember that Goosebumps where it was like Camp Purple Lake or something?
Sure don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
I don't know. At the end, it turned out to be a big slime monster. And it's
Oh, God.
I remember Say Cheese and Die.
that's the best title for a fucking book ever written.
I agree. Completely.
You know, I learned recently
I
that
was going down the grocery store aisle and I saw cheese. And I thought to myself, it's strange that people say cheese when they get a photo
Are
taken.
you doing my R.L. Stein
I
bit? Drew, were you there for my R.L. Stein bit?
No, I was not.
No.
Did you hear me do it?
I don't believe so.
I took a fucking master class online one time from like a bunch of people like Scorsese and shit, and R.L. Stein was one of the people that was available, and he talked about his process coming up with the names for things, and he's like, you know, for instance, my book, God, what the fuck was Mostly Ghostly, right? I was shopping at the Walmart. And I turned down the Halloween decorations aisle and I saw a sign and it said mostly ghostly. And I thought, that's great.
So he just fucking lifted it from
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
shitty seasonal.
It was a terrible seminar. His master class was so bad. And then I take a walk with my wife and then I write a Goosebumps book.
In an afternoon.
And I thought, what if I murdered her?
If I do the Fear Streets, I got to make sure to up it. You can't have the sex with the Fear Streets because they're still just teenagers. But if you go up to Nightmare Lane, that's college. It's all fair game.
Is that the next one?
Yeah,
Nightmare Lane.
Nightmare Lane. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Nightmare Lane is the college edition. That's where things got really raunchy. You might see like a girl in her bra on the cover through a voyeuristic perspective.
The guy in the fucking tree.
As if to connotate you're in the tree looking through the window at the tits.
At boobs.
And then you're going to be in the head of the killer when he murders her for having boobs.
Hey, I'm out here in a tree. Nice fucking cans.
I couldn't figure out why he'd want to kill. And then I thought, boobs.
Okay, so again, this is back to the court documents, right? So from the beginning, the Panda sponsored a live seminar attended by Jennifer S. was bizarre and quickly developed into psychological abuse. At the start, the attendees were told to sit down and not talk and were left in eerie isolation for a full hour before a man stormed in, yelling in Spanish and berating the attendees for sitting there and doing nothing when that is exactly what they had been instructed to do. The man, and a live seminar's employee, loudly proclaimed that the attendees are, quote, nothing and don't matter, rounding on some people to berate them individually, spittle flying. The overall effect was that of a particularly nasty drill sergeant yelling into Jennifer S.'s face.
Like, stab that guy. I'm a Panda Express employee. You don't fucking yell at me.
Everybody sit here quietly was it in the dark?
in shame.
I was just told to sit down and don't talk. Everybody sit here and don't talk.
I just picture like
For a full hour, and then some guy storms in and
sat
starts
there quietly
screaming.
for an hour.
Yeah, some guy comes in and starts screaming to you in Spanish.
I just picture like Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. He's like, don't talk.
I think, like, depending on how the guy busted in there screaming, I might have like just
Fucking
picked up my chair and beat him with it.
like, oh fuck, we're in danger.
Yeah. Legitimately, first of all, I'm talking in that hour. I'm going to get everybody's fucking backstory. I'm going to know who's best at what job, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna hang
Who's
out.
more
I'm
of a-
not fucking being quiet
Who's
for
more
an
of
hour.
a range fighter? Who's a tank? Like, I got to
Yeah,
know
exactly.
who can do what here.
'Cause you never know. You never know what's coming. That's goblins come in
Yeah.
one door.
Who's my mage?
Loudmouth Hispanic man comes in another.
Oh, wow. Did you just equate loudmouth Latinos to goblins?
No, I said
I'm
goblins
offended.
come in one door. Loudmouth Hispanic man comes in another. And then
I
you
see you.
got bugbears from the north wing, and there's an owl bear coming from the first one's not bears, they're
I see you.
bugbears.
I
They're
see you.
different. They're like goblins, and then owl bear
know what
is like a
bugbears
bear, but it's
are.
also
Jesus.
an owl.
I played Baldur's Gay. Just
Yeah,
like you. So,
Ball sex gay.
yeah.
So it became apparent almost immediately that the goal of the seminar staff was to isolate and intimidate Jennifer and the other attendees. The attendees were prohibited from using their cell phones. There was no clock in the room. The doors and windows were all covered with black cloth, and the atmosphere resembled less of a self-improvement seminar and more of a site for off-the-books interrogation of terrorist suspects.
God damn.
So they've got
Someone
him
disrespected Win-Win. They're getting black bagged.
they're in a room with all the windows covered and no clock, and you can't use your cell. First of all, I paid for this seminar. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't
You're
use your
fucking
cell
working
phone.
for me, dickhead.
I will fucking kick your balls off your body.
Give me my fucking money back. That's like,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
yeah, we want your cell phone. Oh, I want my fucking
Yeah,
money.
I'm,
not
well,
doing
I'm
that.
actually just texting my credit card company to go ahead and fucking flag this payment as fraud.
Maybe it was my punk rock childhood, but I just cannot. I can't do that kind of shit. If somebody's
No,
just
hell no.
overtly rude and dismissive while they're giving me commands,
For-
like, fuck you.
For a job as a manager at a shitty Chinese chain.
I will miss my flight home if somebody's a fucking dick to me at the airport. Like, I'm not doing this shit.
for by the way, a middle management job just to get from, I guess, drive-through person to
Yeah.
like to assistant manager.
Fart flavored udon. Great.
I've got to deal with this bullshit
Fuck
and
that.
pay out of pocket for it? No,
No,
way.
thank you.
So on Saturday, July 13th of 2019, Jennifer showed up to find a new. So this is the next day, right? This was like a Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. I'm not sure. So the second day she showed up to find a new exercise, quote unquote, wherein she was forced to strip down to her underwear under the guise of trust building.
Whoa.
So Jennifer stripped almost naked in front of strangers and coworkers. Remember, 20 to 50 people here. In front of strangers and coworkers, was extremely uncomfortable, but pressed on because she knew it was her only chance at a promotion.
Ooh. No thanks.
Plaintiff felt extremely uncomfortable at the situation, but compelled to continue because her prospects for advancement at Panda Express depended on completion of the seminar.
God damn.
That is fucking
Horrifying.
Horrific.
Like, that's bad. That's bad.
That is
bro.
horrific.
Like what if like the pressures had continued in that vein? Like
Oh, they do.
I know, but I'm saying like but like what if like, okay, great, now I'm naked.
Yeah.
in this
Now
room
take
full of
off your
strangers.
underwear. Yeah. Now, the exercise culminated when Jennifer, along with other participants, had to take turns standing up to yell about their inner struggles until everyone else in the group, quote, believed them.
Wow.
What does that even mean?
I'm afraid of standing in rooms full of strangers in my underpants. I'm afraid of standing in rooms full of strangers in my
I don't
underpants.
believe you. Maybe bounce up and down a little bit more, Jennifer.
Jesus Christ.
I don't believe you.
No,
That's fucking
that's
insane.
I mean, like, honestly, okay, like, I understand the crowd mentality, and it's very easy to say, like, well, if I'd been there, you know, but, like, but
We haven't done a Mark Wahlberg in so long. If I had been there,
it would have gone down a little different. But like, even as like
Jennifer's pants would have stayed on. I'll tell you that
someone
much.
just in that room, I would find it very hard not to be like, all right, fucking cut this shit. What the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is
She's
this?
obviously uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I mean, I imagine this girl probably standing there, probably with her arms crossed, you know, like, and her legs real tight. Like, don't look at my fucking underwear, please, for the love of God. Yelling about I don't even know what her innermost struggles are, but I imagine what's happening currently has got to be pretty up there on the list.
Yeah.
This is my most courage struggle I can think of. I'm standing here in my underwear in front of fucking strangers and coworkers.
I think one of the most difficult
and
things,
I paid money for it.
As a father, one of the most difficult things to teach a child, I think, is to know when in a group setting you can tell everyone to eat your dick and fucking walk out. Like, and that shit scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
'Cause my kid's
I
like a
don't have
cheerleader
daughters,
and
thank
shit.
Christ.
Like, what if like she ever finds herself in an uncomfortable situation like that? Like you hear about like gym teachers and shit
Oh
doing
God!
inappropriate
And fucking
shit.
high school parties,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Like
just all
fucking
kinds of shit.
I try and enforce
Going
so
off to
strongly
college?
that like if you don't feel right, then punch someone in the throat,
absolutely.
bro. Like, get the fuck
if
out of
something
there.
feels even a slightly off,
You
get
got to
out.
trust those
Get out.
instincts because if it feels a little bit off to start, you're out, dude. That's it.
And by the way, if it feels a little bit like, because that's how people like that operate,
Yeah.
is it's little increments, right? So if it feels a little bit off and you stay, now you've just encouraged the person to keep going.
Yeah, now they know
All
they
right,
can push
I
that
got away
barrier.
with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what else I can get
Push
away
a little
with.
bit further.
Yeah.
Push a
So
little bit further,
as soon as you feel that, man, get the fuck out. Like there's no friendship or social circle or employment opportunity in this case that's worth fucking debasing yourself like
No, fuck that.
You know, like I'm sorry. I don't know Jennifer's life, but I have to believe that she could have gotten another job that would have been equivalent of Panda Express
Yeah, easily.
in fucking somewhere in California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Glendale.
So
Like there's
another
plenty of
terrible
shit
fucking
there.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, another awful fast food job, sure, but like
Probably.
I don't
Pizza
like-
Hut, you know, you could have driven pizzas.
I don't give a fuck. Like the minute you remotely insult me, I'm out.
This
Like,
isn't 2019. This is not that long ago.
Oh, so then it didn't inspire the whole song Jennifer's Body.
Do I know that song?
Yeah, probably. You just don't want to admit it because you don't like whole.
Oh, God. I do know that. Fuck you.
Pieces of Jennifer's body.
So
I am choosing to not engage
Good song.
in the whole talk.
the last male participant now, had some difficulty convincing the others, and as a result, broke down into tears. Jennifer was told to stand up and go to the middle of the room with the male participant, where they were forced to, quote, hug it out, wearing nothing but their underwear. Jennifer was humiliated, but did as she was told.
It's like
That
textbook sexual
But yeah,
assault.
that's Stanford prison experiment shit. That's just like, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
something that resembles like some weird cult initiation.
Yeah,
shit.
100%,
It's like just
100%.
little prodding, just put you in this sort of mental anguish state, and just keep poking.
I went through something
till you
like
break
that
them
a
down.
little bit in a corporate setting when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, I talk a lot about how I lived in New York. I worked for an AmeriCorps program,
Uh-huh.
right? Well, the program that I worked for was called City Year, and like they're big on calls and responses, coded uniforms, things like that. It was like this, I guess you could say like gang sort of like related sort of approach to education. You know, like it was very. Very culty in a lot of ways. We went to a
Right.
retreat. We learned all these calls and responses. I can still give you the spiel. It's been 20 years.
What is this?
It's called City Year. It's a nonprofit here's the spiel. City Year is a nonprofit organization that brings 17 to 24-year-olds together from all walks of life to work in one of 19 different sites in inner city schools across the country. I could do that fucking off the top of my head for the rest of my life. No problem. It's more sites than 19 now, but that was like 2000.
Is it
yeah.
like a?
Called City
It sounds
Year.
almost
it's an
like a
AmeriCorps
maybe.
program.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
okay, it is America.
Yeah, yeah.
AmeriCorps.
So
Oh,
like
okay. So yeah, that
17 to
makes sense.
24-year-olds, right?
That makes
They all
sense.
moved to, I moved to New York. You live on a stipend, so you don't have enough money to live in New York. There's no fucking way. Like,
Yeah.
I made like $200 a week,
Oh,
like
boy.
$236 a week. It
Jesus.
was like insane for no money,
Yeah.
right? So
Less than $1,000 a month.
yeah, for fucking wild. You're working crazy hours, like 50, 60 hours a week,
Mhm.
working like at all parts of the city. yada yada. But to start off, because we're all going to wear uniforms.
AmeriCorps is notorious for up shit like that.
We're all wearing uniforms, and I enjoyed my experience for the most part while I was out there. It didn't like fucking break me, but there were definitely culty, brainwashy elements.
Right.
And one in particular was, I remember, I got really upset about this. We were there was 60 or 70 team members, I guess, like in my New York group, because they also had them in like Chicago and Detroit and Boston and like this. We were the New York Corps, and we went to this retreat in New Jersey where we all got to know each other, play games, and unify and get calls and responses and learn all this shit. You know, I noticed they specifically only served Kool-Aid and coffee.
Ooh,
that was a red flag. I talked about that the whole fucking time I was there. I was like, why no water? Why don't we have any fucking water? You know, that was a whole thing. But they did this thing where they lined everybody up, and everyone's from different walks of life, right? A multicolored rainbow of different ethnicities. And they had everyone line up, and then they cited examples of like economic discrimination or racial discrimination. Like, you know, if you've ever been ostracized for the color of your skin, step forward. Or if you've ever lost a job opportunity for your skin, or if you've ever, you know, like struggled to
maybe
eat,
I don't want to share that
yeah,
shit.
well, exactly. And they, you know, you could lie, I guess, but it was like, so I ended up in a weird like back corner because I'd had kind of a tough childhood, and I felt weird because I was the only white guy in that area, right? And like, but then all of my new friends were all like way up ahead of me, and I just felt this weird like separation in general. And I felt like I was looking at like the people of color in the line next to me. They're looking at me like, "There's no fucking way that you're telling the truth about this shit." And I was like, sorry, I just fucking it was fucking kind of a rough time. And then like I'm looking up and seeing all the people I've been hanging out with having like being like, yes, I've been privileged my whole life in the privilege category. And I was like, this is a fucking nightmare. This is like belittling. And it made me really uncomfortable. And like when we all got a chance to like talk about it, I made that very clear. I was like, I think that was like debasing, not just to me, but like look at all of the people here. So like what now? Like this is like the group of the poor, discriminated, like
you've
cast of characters,
segregated us,
and then all the people who have had like decent lives have to feel like ashamed about that.
Yeah, that's
when like minutes ago we were all like a bunch of people in a room having a good time talking to each other.
Right.
And they were just like, we appreciate your input. And just like moved on. It was so fucking bizarre, but like it made the whole experience really uncomfortable and weird, and like what like a psychological fucking
imagine
game.
This shit. Like part of me wonders what it is that this guy had so much trouble getting people to believe his innermost struggle was.
I don't have a boner. I don't have a boner.
There's a bottle of Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap in my ass right now. I don't believe you. There's no fucking way.
No, he's just standing in the room like, we're all one. We're all one. Everyone's like,
my
no
grandma's
way.
had a bottle of that shit for 8 years in her bathroom.
Sharks only love their friends.
There's no way you put that in your ass. I swear, I have a bottle in my ass right now. It's tingly. Oh, Jennifer, go hug him. He's crying now.
Jesus.
It's fucking horrible. So, like I said, this seminar really resembles like a fucking cult initiation.
Because it is. That's what that is.
So the live seminar staff proceeded to dim the lights. Plaintiff and the other attendees, so plaintiff being Jennifer, were instructed to stand up and close their eyes, pretending...
Because they're in for a big surprise.
Open your mouth. Pretending that a light from above would come down and take all of the negative energy out of them. Then pretend that a hole opened up in the ground and swallowed all of the negative energy. While this was happening, one of the Alive Seminar staff had a cell phone with the light on, recording plaintiff and I guess everyone else in their states of undress. What is this supposed to accomplish? How is this pertinent to a middle management position at the motherfucking Panda Express?
Culty shit like that. When I explained my experience in like AmeriCorps, there was way more than just like little, but they're daily, small, little incremental, weird indoctrinations, right? So like a seminar like that just does a million different things.
Yeah.
Because they all have some weird little psychological effect or some like small like fucking like power play on the person involved.
Yeah, that was my first thought as like a power player, disempowering the subjects.
Yeah, stand in the dark.
I guess so that when you come back,
you
come back, at least we know that we're putting someone in management that we can fucking debase at least this much,
Literally
and it's not a new thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
humiliate you on stage, and
it's
Blah.
fucking so.
Yeah, maybe they'd send that video to like the higher ups and be like, "All of these people will do it."
Yeah, I couldn't find. I don't know that well, as of me doing these notes a year ago, I don't know that this lawsuit had sort of wrapped up yet, but I couldn't find anything at the time. I will say that Panda Express,
Sucks.
well, they were able to sort of like plausible doubt their way out of it, even though they were funneling people into these seminars. You know, when all this shit came out, their sort of, you know, press release was, and I'm going to read it verbatim: a live seminars and coaching academy is a third-party organization in which Panda has no ownership interest and over which it exercises no control. While we always encourage personal growth and development, Panda Restaurant Group has not and does not mandate that any associate participate in a live seminars and coaching academy, nor is it a requirement to earn promotions. We do not condone the kind of behavior
Fucking liars.
that plaintiff has alleged took place at a live seminars and coaching academy, and we would not intentionally allow it to occur within or on behalf of our organization, which is probably bullshit.
It has to be, because why the fuck were they all there? Honestly, you know what this really sounds like to me? In like a
Yeah, you're not going to tell me that 20 to 50 people showed up on a weekend to pay out of pocket for a seminar that wasn't going to that wasn't made to be compulsory for, you know, any sort of advancement in the company.
trying to picture this like in my head. It kind of feels like a human trafficking like thing. You know, like to imagine taking that video of these people like in their underwear, like,
Yeah.
hey, these are all the pliant ones that would fucking do as they were told.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I mean, like maybe that's not at all the case. I mean, 'cause that's totally suppositionary. But it's like
Hey, this might
situations.
just be a dude that was just doing it for his
just
spank bank.
situations like that, and like the manipulative mentality of the
Yeah.
people who would engage, not just the ones that are like being manipulated, but the manipulators themselves. Like, imagine being
listen, the
imagine
fact
being a fucking human being and doing that to another person.
the fact that this guy had his cell phone out tells me this was not the first time.
No,
Nobody does something brazen like that with his fucking light, you know, his flash on and his
because
cell phone.
no one's going to do anything about it.
Right. So he knows, which means they've done this before.
Yeah, these guys are all fucking Hindu cows. He can do anything he wants to them.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. Like the people in that room doing the manipulating are specifically vile and probably really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean,
Because a good, decent person doing that kind of
no,
shit,
you have to be a fucking masochistic fuck.
Yeah, no fucking
No,
way.
sadistic. You have to be sadistic fuck.
You ever watch The Handmaid's Tale?
I have.
Yeah, do you know that?
First couple seasons.
Okay, you know that
not.
one, like the older, like the fucking nun nurse lady that's like the
Oh, yeah.
The lady that keeps them all in
yeah,
line, the
fucking
older lady. Yeah.
that insidious old bitch.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of person that does shit like that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's Panda Express and their weird culty shit. Again, that's more culty than Dr. Bronner is for sure. But this last one is super weird culty. Celestial Seasonings tea. Are you familiar? The Sleepy Time tea?
The Celestials, as like the Celestials from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Nope.
I legitimately have some of that
The
in my
little-
house right now.
The little bear.
I could use some
The
right
little
now.
sleepy
Actually,
bear.
I'm getting kind of tired.
I'll give you some.
No, I got some at home. I got something at home.
So Celestial Seasonings tea was founded in Boulder, Colorado in 1969 by Mo Siegel. It is
1969 off of the Stooges. 1969, okay, off of Iggy and the Stooges
Nope.
album.
Nope.
It's not Funhouse. Was it Funhouse? No,
Nope.
it
It
wasn't Funhouse.
was
What did
the
he say?
self-titled.
Self-titled. White.
It is the best-selling tea manufacturer in the U.S., pulling in about $100 million a year.
Damn.
Uh,
That's the tea.
They apparently have cute little inspirational messages on all the tea tags.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really a big tea drinker.
Go for it. Live your dream.
I've never read them.
No, me neither.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't give a fuck.
Tomorrow's today is yesterday's 2 days from now.
Death is just the beginning.
So
Respect win-win.
don't forget, there is a bear. So I mean, I don't know what kind of bear. What
Sleepy bear.
sort of
Sleepy bear in a nightcap.
harmonious bear interactions they've got. So they have a headquarters in Boulder that you can actually tour. Their headquarters attracts more than 100,000 people a year, and their tea tours are one of the top free travel destinations in the country.
Ooh, wow. Boulder, Colorado, huh?
One of the top free tour destinations in the whole fucking country is people going to the tea place to see
Celestial
the tea
Seasonings.
tour. Yeah.
What?
Why?
Over here, we cut the tea leaves. Over here, we cut the tea bags. Over here, we put the tea leaves in the tea bags. Thanks for coming in.
Look at all these loose herbs. They're going to go in bags. You know what I'm doing right now, right?
No.
We got to do at least one review. Got to do
I haven't been here for any of these.
at least
I'm
one
excited.
review.
Bland. Not very good tea. Typical. Ben from
Stayed up
Leeds.
all night. Couldn't sleep.
Typical.
Couldn't sleep. Bad tea. Not very diverse.
Message not inspiring.
Typical.
Would you like to hear? Wow, the top one's a 1-star.
Whoa.
Let's start with a 4-star, right? We'll go sort of. Okay. This was written in October of this last year, 2024, by the Explorer Darian. He's got 67 contributions. Good for you, Darian.
Wow, he likes to write reviews, huh?
Does he ever? So he wrote 4 out of 5 stars. The tour was quite interesting, and the tea is delicious, but you could hardly hear the tour guides. The factory is loud. Jesus Christ. And the PA systems in various locations are muffled. It would have been nice to have heard what they were actually saying. Come on.
Stop the conveyor. We got another one. Count on the tracks. There's fucking Darian here. I got the children. blood, every mother, blood.
Come on, Celestial Seasonings. It's not that hard. You could do much better. Invest more money into your free tours. Come on, Celestial Seasonings.
Darian, you fucking chode.
So now we'll go to Kimberly B, old Kimmy B. This is her only contribution, so she felt strongly about this one. This is a 1-star. Fun visit unless you have a disability, then not so much. This is from November of last year. I have been coming to this location with my service dog for about 8 years. How many times do you have to do the tea tour?
Maybe it's a lovely day out with the dog.
Yes. Today, I was informed that the tea tasting room and tours are available to the general public. Oh, maybe she hasn't done it before. Except those persons with service dogs. What? Even the most elementary Google search of this questions would tell you that is absolutely illegal. My service dog has been in hundreds, if not thousands of restaurants at this point in our lives. Celestial Seasonings boils water for tea. Do better, all caps. Stop discriminating, and I truly hope a lawyer picks this up and makes a positive change.
That's not a fun review, actually, because she was discriminated against, and that's sad.
I want to know what the service animal was.
I had a friend. You might have met him.
I want to know about the service animal.
I had a friend who totally printed bullshit service animal stuff and would take his dog everywhere. And granted, his dog was like very well behaved and like excellent, but it was absolute horseshit.
Right.
And it is. And so there's a trick there because you are legally not allowed to ask what the service animal is for. But you can ask if it is a seeing eye dog. And if the answer is no, then you can assume that,
Yeah.
Or if
Well,
the
I guess
answer
if
is
the
yes,
seizure
if
dogs.
the answer is yes, you could say, well, then why the fuck do you want to see the tea equipment?
I work in the one industry where we kind of can get away with telling you to fuck off.
Yeah, no dogs, fuck you.
This one's a good one from August of 22. Disappointed Oregon travelers. All the way from Oregon, and it was closed. Disappointed local buyers of your tea. There's plenty of tea brands.
They were mad because it was closed?
Yeah, I guess they drove all the way from Oregon to Colorado just specifically to go do the tea tour.
Well, they should have checked the times.
I really think giving everyone a platform to review everything was a fucking mistake.
It's a horrifying mistake. The internet was a big
Yeah.
mistake. It
I
should never
agree.
have happened. Yeah.
You know, it was fun for maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
there.
having a pocket dimension with you at all times is a fucking miserable psychological experience, and we should all kill ourselves.
Did you join the cult of euthanasia?
No,
when we
that was
weren't
the
looking?
last episode.
You had a week to mull it over, and
I
you're
was
like,
like,
you know what?
We recorded Weird Religions right before we recorded this episode, so
That is
the
true.
cult of euthanasia is still stuck in
He
my
hasn't
head.
had a week. He's had like a couple hours.
And then I did the all one broader speech, and I'm just like, "Ugh, save the earth, kill yourself.
There is a weird energy in here
Yes,
after that speech.
it's
Like,
the
still.
devil.
I think you summoned something. We might have to change recording
It's the
locations.
peppermint
The
devil.
spirit of Emmanuel Bronner walks among us. One more 1 star, because this one kind of shits on Celestial Seasonings as a company, and I'm going to shit on it some more after this. So this is from Kitty McKenzie, who's had 38.
What, kid reporter?
Kitty. Kitty McKenzie reporting live from Boulder, Colorado. This one's 1 star. Unethical and hypocritical company. We toured Celestial with my company so I could recommend it to visitors from out of town. But I won't be doing that. They claim to be environmentally aware and concerned about the planet, while at the same time, as we speak, are working with a sleazy developer to pave over a prairie dog and natural habitat they promise to preserve indefinitely. Many of us are outraged at the senseless destruction and will be boycotting this company and its parent company, Hain/Celestial, unless they keep their promise to protect this preserve. Okay.
Yeah, fuck them.
I mean, yeah, fuck them on that one. So
Who don't like prairie dogs?
it's kind of shitty if you acquire a piece of land and you say, you know what, we're going to protect this indefinitely, and then you go, well, or a parking lot.
We're going to preserve it under this concrete.
It's going to be preserved. Don't worry. So they have, this is like the T tour is a big thing. So, but in 2015, the story broke that Mo Seigel follows follows a strange religious text called the Arancha book, right? This book, I wanted to read some of this book. It's fucking over 2,000 pages long.
That's almost as long as Lord of the Rings.
This, yeah, except for Lord of the Rings sounds cool and is cool, and the Arancha book sounds like, well, you can make your own decisions whenever I get to the end of this. So the book originated sometime between 1924 and 1955 in Chicago. We don't know exactly, right? Since then, the book has been published and distributed by the Urantia Foundation, which, can you guess who it lists as its president?
Hold on a second. Jesus.
Mo Seigel.
Mo Seigel?
Yeah, he apparently discovered the book the same year he founded Celestial Seasoning.
Oh, shit.
Whoa. For starters, this book claims to be a transmission of extraterrestrial wisdom.
Uh-oh.
The book also self-identifies followers as cult members.
Ooh.
Literally calls them that.
So we can't get in trouble for this one. Right?
Though they have shied away from that language in modern years. So sometime between 1950 and now they've changed it. The scientific claims in the book do not reflect any kind of special wisdom removed from the time and place when the book was written, right? The scientific ideas of the Urantia book are simply those held by the author and are typical of someone in his position in the early 1900s.
Okay.
It was presumably
like money, white guy, early 1900s America.
It was presumably written by a Chicago physician and student of Freud named William Sadler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Wilhelm Reich. I was
No.
like, oh, fuck.
William Sadler, who had already been involved in other fucking cults. So Sadler claims the content of this book actually came from a neighbor who was in an unconscious hypnotic state while he gave the statements in the book. 2,000 pages worth of statements. This guy was fucking hypnotized.
Okay.
How long does it take to just transmit 2,000 pages worth of words?
Well, I guess it depends how fast you write.
Even if you recorded the whole thing, that's still a lot.
William Sadler, after this little adventure, portrayed the Grim Reaper in the movie Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Did he really? That's got to be a different William Sadler, right?
I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, but it's William Sadler.
Oh, okay.
He's also the one in Shawshank Redemption that says, Alexandri, dumbass.
Oh, yeah. Strangely, Sadler had previously written a book debunking popular paranormal claims. So later on, like down the road, parts of this Urantia book were discovered to be plagiarized from other shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He probably wrote this book, plagiarized this guy who has been involved in multiple cults prior to this, plagiarized it from a bunch of other shit. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think this is your Rancher book is obviously a strange, skewed, random, rambling diatribe about Jesus and his teachings,
Well, this is a fun one.
of which there are many.
Sadler was interested in race eugenics.
There we go.
Yeah. That whole field of study that wants to remove inferior kinds of people from the gene pool.
Mm.
Not going to say which ones they think are inferior.
You think Helen Keller drank this tea?
So one of Sadler's favorite books before the Urantia book was Madison Grant's The Passing of the Great Race, which says that Nordic people are the ideal human race, and getting rid of other races would enable us to get rid of the undesirables who crowd our jails, hospitals, and insane asylums.
That's awful.
Yeah, well, those are just like the racial hygiene theories.
And then he developed the tea so everyone would go sleepy time and close their eyes to the eugenicisms that you wanted to commit.
So they'd sleep right through the train ride.
And the prairie dogs.
Yeah, fuck prairie dogs. That's what he said. That's in the eugenics book.
Sadler's wife, who gets to join this party now, also a physician, once wrote that eugenics would eliminate at least 90% of crime, insanity, feeble-mindedness, moronism, and abnormal sexuality, not to mention many other forms of defectiveness and degeneracy.
Anyone who ever talks about abnormal sexuality is fucking boring in the sack. You're fucking square.
The first person I thought of was what's that little fucking nerd Ben
Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
I
Oh
knew you
yeah,
were gonna say
fucking
that.
awful.
Yeah.
You know that he does fucking just missionary.
Oh yeah.
We're back, Ben. Fuck you again.
Yeah, fuck you, Shapiro. You piece of shit.
Remember when his whole rant about
wet ass pussy?
Yeah, about wet
Like
ass
my
pussy.
doctor wife says that that would be on a
Yeah.
bucket and a
You've
mop.
You've got an infection.
You've got
If
an
you're-
infection.
Yeah, pussies don't naturally get
Yeah,
wet.
you don't get bitches wet.
Yeah, you
'cause
don't
you're
know how to get a
fucking
girl wet.
loser nerd. I have a history podcast. You're more of a fucking nerd loser than
you're
me. You
probably
suck.
talking real fast to your wife about the next step of what you're going to do in bed and just not letting her get a word in.
Whenever I
edgewise.
see that fucking guy on anything,
I'm going to take off my pants now,
and he's doing,
and I'm going to get in bed.
when
next
he's
to you.
doing the fast talking, and he like dismissively fucking just like acts like somebody's stupid for asking a question or something. All I could think is like like you're close enough, you can run right up to him and fucking smack him in the mouth.
I'm going to put my hand between your legs and rub it back and forth in an attempt to find your clitoris, which I am not certain exists. I think it only exists in theory, but I'm going to try. Once I do that for about 2 seconds, I'm going to spit on the same hand and I'm going to rub it back and forth on your vagina because I know that scientifically vaginas don't get wet. It's just not possible. Megan Thee Stallion, you have a vaginal infection.
I figured it out. I brought a bucket and a wet mop with which to wet your pussy. That's what they were talking about.
God damn it. The Urantia book claims that there are 6 human races. You ready for this? Here are the 6 human races, Drew. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and indigo.
What about violet?
Nope. Not doesn't exist. Shut up.
I don't have anything blue.
By the way,
Like the Avatar people?
Orange?
The indigo race is black people, and the book argues it is the most inferior race. The superior
Wait,
race.
which one is black people?
Indigo.
Indigo.
Yeah.
That's like the best color.
The superior
indigo
race,
girls.
according to the book, are fair-skinned and blue-eyed.
No.
And they are,
Really?
I think, red. They're not even fucking, or maybe they're blue. I don't know. They're not just normal color of skin that you see in the world.
Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense because racists are stupid.
The Urantia book argues for eugenics as a way to remedy the existence of inferior races, which they say are responsible for the existence of disease, like wet ass pussies. Those indigo girls, Megan Thee Stallion and fucking Cardi B. No, you don't like that joke?
That was good. That was good.
God,
That was
you
good.
shook your head
That
and
was good. Actually, I'm sorry I
scowled.
didn't catch it at first because I was thinking of how disappointed I was in the world.
That they're
But-
the indigo girls?
Yeah,
Let's
I
put
get
the
it.
indigo
That's
girls
a good
in.
Indigo
Yeah,
Girls
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
I like that
Thank you.
because they found solace in a bottle of lube.
Okay, so in summation,
That was a good Indigo Girls joke.
In an article that Mocycle co-authored for
Closer
the...
I am to
damn.
John.
I hate you. In an article that Mocycle co-authored for the Rancho Foundation called, quote,
Called I'm a stupid fucking
20
tea-making dickhead.
the 20 most asked questions. Is,
Hey, what the fuck's your problem? Why are you such a fucking douchebag? 3, why does your tea suck and fuck you?
Question number 4. Your tea sucks. So he says that illness is caused by evil. This belief is also held by the alleged fundamentalist cult, the Institute in Basic Life Principles, which the Duggars belong to. And I want to do a whole thing on the Duggars too. You know, that's the family with all the fucking the kids. Too many kids.
The Duggars.
The Duggars, they had a fucking TV show on like
Oh no, I specifically don't watch shows about families with kids.
yeah.
What was it?
I stopped after Family Matters let me
My
down.
18 racist
My
children
18
that I molest or whatever.
Yeah.
My 18 racist children I molest.
Mo Seigel also says, I think I keep alternating between Seigel and Siegel, but whatever. I don't care. He's a fucking loser. He says that we will never cure disease because humankind loses about as much progress as it makes by ignoring eugenics.
Wow.
This is the CEO of Celestial Seasonings
Currently,
Tea, ladies and
currently.
gentlemen. Current CEO. I think so.
Yeah, we ignore eugenics too much. That's why this world's got all these problems.
Well, now I gotta go throw all my fucking sleepy tea away.
Oh yeah. Oh god,
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
you can't-
fuck. You
yeah.
guys don't know, but Drew's a real hardline punk
Drew stands
rocker.
on business.
He
Drew
fucking-
stands
he fucking-
on business.
He doesn't
I
fucking do
do.
Amazon Prime because fucking they're a bunch of douchebags.
I tried to shut the fuck up about it this whole episode. I've been wanting to go on a rant, but I won't.
Well, hey, Dr. Bronner still seems cool.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Bronner I'm okay with.
What?
I didn't eat Panda anyway.
He is now the owner of Capital Peaks Investment and has served on 5 public company boards and 17 private corporate boards of directors.
Tell me that they
and
own Twin Peaks.
non-profit foundations such as Whole Foods, Annie's, Himalayan Cataract Project, whatever the fuck that is, Choco Love, Haynes Celestial, which is his tea, Boulder Community Hospital, Colorado Impact Fund, and Camelback Corp.
Damn, not Choco Love.
There goes your Choco Love.
No!
Your hoard of Choco Love you keep under the
My
bed.
sweet, sweet Choco Love.
Wait, Camelback, that's like the water backpack thing?
Maybe.
Is that the camel? Oh fuck, Camelback.
I
Yeah.
think so.
What bags of water you carry on your back now, or
yeah.
the bad guy
With a
shit?
little straw that you sip on.
Fuck, I
Those
wouldn't.
straws are a pain in the
I wouldn't
tits.
fucking use that anyway.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's a stupid asshole thing to have.
But also Whole Foods and Annie's.
And he's what, the pretzels?
No, Annie's
And
like
he's
the
like
fucking,
the mac and cheese.
food,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah.
Oh, I'm not fucking eating
the,
that
the
shit.
dressing and
Whole
all
Foods. When do I go to Whole Foods? What do I want? Sushi from a grocery store? Suck my
for
balls.
$48.
that. Yeah.
Have a fuck. I will eat dirt
And has.
and have.
Well, shit. I think that's
Well, shit.
I think that's enough for today. That was a much more conversational than usual. I feel like that wasn't real heavy.
That was good. A little reset. We got some more. We got a heavier topic.
That's
this week.
what like those were very I was bothered reading those notes that I prepared myself
because they weren't good enough.
because they were not up to par
Yeah.
for what I do
What
now.
a difference a year makes.
But I had I had 5 days to write. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 2 days off to write half of the last episode, and that was more notes than I had for this whole fucking episode from a year ago. So
No, I have to go home and edit more video stuff. I don't know what day it is. I don't know who I am anymore.
it's Wednesday.
Fuck, really?
You've been possessed by the spirit
Jesus
of Emmanuel
Christ.
Bronner.
Oh, one. That's sharks, baby.
That's sharks. That's sharks.
That's sharks. I'm sticking with that. Like, I'm gonna get a shark tattoo now that says that's
That's
sharks.
sharks.
That's sharks, baby. Because it's in my head.
That he said, baby, at the end.
That's showbiz, baby. Like,
Just they're missing, like the front of their heads are just caved in,
no
they're-
frontal lobes.
and they're
That's
hugging,
sharks,
and
baby.
it's hugging another shark. That's sharks. You know,
I don't know what to tell you. That's sharks.
You know sharks. That's sharks.
You know, a shark can only love its friend. Lacking frontal lobes, it must avoid fear. It must avoid fear, smear, hate, slander, dominate, dictate, distort, destroy anything it does
What
not know.
are sharks distorting?
That's sharks, baby.
Sharks don't have the ability to
I think it's
distort
he's talking
things.
about the grand shark, the royal shark, the shark in all of us, you know?
the proverbial
We
shark.
are the shark. The shark is us. All one.
All
All one.
one.
All one. All one.
All one God faith.
Bye.
Exceptions?
None.
If you like this episode, which I don't know what we just did for the last couple hours, please get on whatever platform you're listening to. Give us 5 stars. And I don't know, do some other things. Go.
If you want real history, tune in next week. We're gonna do a real.
Oh,
gonna
God.
do a
We get
fucking
heavy the next 2
heavy
weeks.
breakdown over 2 episodes
Yeah.
with cultural representation.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes, yes.
that it's gonna turn Drew off to bananas.
Oh, God. You're never going to eat bananas or pineapples or.
You know I fucking
anything.
won't.
No, I will not.
I don't eat fruit anymore because fuck fruit. Yeah. So, hey, get on whatever you're listening to. Leave us a review. Leave us a rating. Leave us a comment if you're on Spotify. If you want to send us a message, deleteeverythingpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support us even more, we still do weekly Patreon episodes, baby, and they're still crazier than ever. So that's the place.
We've been picking those up a little bit. They've been pretty fun. I look forward to doing the Patreons now because they're madcap and just like fucking silly.
Well, just so you guys get a little insight into our process, we record the Patreons first
Get all the sillies out.
because it gets the crazy out, and then we can actually sit still for a whole episode. We used to do the whole episode first and then do the Patreon, and we'd like be kind of more unhinged on the regular episode, and then by the time we got to the Patreon, it was just kind of like, So yeah, we flipped it around that way because we're always thinking of things. We're always
We're big brain boys, not like sharks.
Yeah, no, that's
They got no frontal lobes. That's sharks, baby.
That's sharks. We've got frontal lobes. That's humans.
Man.
Okay, goddamn it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Blango, baby, Blango. Don't tell anybody.
Blango, baby, Blango.
Everybody, keep it quiet.
Blango, baby, Blango.
You signed NDAs.
Blango, baby, Blango.
Get those pants off.
Blango, baby, Blango.
Woo! Blango, baby, Blango.
Let me see your dick.